Ladies and gentlemen, this is what peak male performance looks like. Wayne Mark Rooney is England's second ever top scorer and arguably the best player to ever represent the Three Lions. But for every miraculous moment on the pitch over his 20-year playing career, there's been the odd moment or 8 that he would want to leave out of his MBE award package. From gambling binges to sex scandals, here's 8 moments FIFA will want you to forget about Wayne Rooney. At number 8, his entire managerial career. A lot of players go into management shortly after retiring from the game. Some of them are good like Vincent Kompany, some are shit like Gary Neville, and some are shit like Wayne Rooney. Now, I have to give him some credit for his early Derby days where he was player-manager and helped the Rams avoid relegation in his first year. But after a stint in America, Waza's return to management in England was disastrous. Hired as Birmingham's manager in October 2023 with the Blues sitting in 6th place, Rooney's tenure lasted just 83 days after scraping just 2 wins in 15 games, leaving the club in the relegation zone. Rooney found a new job pretty quickly, taking over a managerless Plymouth Argyle at the start of the season. Here, he managed 19 games, which is a slight improvement, but his poor tactical skills left yet another club in the drop zone before Christmas, and Rooney was fired before the new year. I guess some players should just stick to punditry. At number 7, the Wagatha Christie trial. Now, this doesn't technically involve Wayne directly, but the whole ordeal put the Rooney family name in some unwanted headlines. In 2019, Wayne's wife Colleen publicly accused Rebecca Vardy of leaking private stories to the Sun newspaper, leading to a 2022 libel trial. The court ruled in Colleen's favor, finding her accusation mostly true, and ordered Rebecca to pay over £1.8 million in costs. Given that Wayne and Rebecca's husband, Jamie, were former England teammates, it's probably also in the FA's best interest that the story is quickly forgotten. The intense public and legal scrutiny also put a strain on Wayne and Colleen Rooney's marriage, and this definitely wasn't for the first time. At number 6, sleeping with hookers. Before Wayne and Colleen had tied the knot, the England star had a habit of spending his early fortune on prostitutes, particularly more mature ones. It was reported that a teenage Wayne Rooney bedded a 48-year-old hooker known as the Old Slapper, who used to wear a rubber cat suit whilst at work. Wayne and Colleen had just started dating at the time, so the family would want to forget this whole ordeal and live happily ever after. Or not. Number 5, his threesome with sex workers. The most publicized betrayal came in 2010, when tabloids exposed Wayne's alleged encounters with sex workers Jennifer Thompson and Helen Wood, including a threesome while Colleen was pregnant with their first son, Kai. Devastated, Colleen temporarily left their home with the newborn to stay with her parents. But they reconciled after Wayne's public apology, where he admitted to mistakes from his youth and immaturity. We all make mistakes though, right? Number 4, his drink driving affair. It's 2017 and Rooney has just signed for his boyhood club Everton at 32 years old, but acting like he was 16 again. The striker found himself in hot water once again. On September 1st, 2017, Rooney was pulled over by police in Cheshire at 2 a.m. while driving a Volkswagen Beetle owned by a woman he had met at a bar. A breathalyzer test showed Rooney's alcohol level at 104 micrograms per 100 milliliters of breath, nearly 3 times the legal limit. He spent the night in the cells and would later face a driving ban and community service, all while his wife was pregnant with their 4th child. We don't know whether he had planned an affair that night, but we can assume that Colleen was probably very, very pissed. Number 3 is gambling addiction. 2017 wasn't a good year for Rooney. Following his ban from driving and being back under the watchful eye of the media, the England legend found himself slumping in the casinos. This wasn't new to Wayne, and he had opened up about his gambling habits in the past, having racked up debts of over £700,000 at the age of 20. But during this rough patch in his life, his demons had come back to haunt him. While playing for Everton, Rooney reportedly lost £500,000 in a 2-hour session at Manchester 235 Casino. This was part of broader scrutiny on the casino for allowing high-stakes losses without proper checks on vulnerable players, which is why I could never advocate gambling. But you know what is completely free and won't lose you anything? Hitting that subscribe button and supporting my channel. Anyway, Rooney wouldn't help himself when later in his career he signed for Derby County in a move entirely funded by bookmakers 32 Red, wearing the number 32 on his top as part of the contract. To sell out to a gambling company after so many personal struggles brought some very deserved scrutiny to the forward. Number 2, his 2010 World Cup rant. Finally, back to the football now. Sorry about that. During the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, Rooney had an infamous post-match outburst after a frustrating draw against Algeria. This was England's second group stage match following a 1-1 draw with the USA, and the performance was widely panned as toothless and uninspired, and the fans were quick to express their disappointment. As the players trudged off the pitch amid boos from disappointed England fans in the Cape Town Stadium, Rooney turned directly to the camera and vented his frustration with a sarcastic remark. Nice to see your own fans booing you. It's nice to feel that support. loyal supporters, and some other words that aren't quite suitable for daytime television. The next day, Rooney issued a public apology, acknowledging his words were said in the heat of the moment, out of frustration with both the team's display and the result. A fair apology from the legend, but this is definitely a moment that the FA will want forgetting. And finally, at number 1, we have Mooney Rooney. Sorry, but we're not quite done with the drunkenly escapades. On a lads' night out in early July 2021, a then 35 Rooney, and recently appointed interim manager at Derby County, ended up at a karaoke bar and later the Royal Toby Hotel in Rochdale after a heavy drinking session. At the hotel, Rooney met 3 women who were also out for a night of fun. Photos emerged from the night showing Rooney passed out on the bed in his boxers, with one woman posing provocatively beside him, bending over in underwear with her bare bottom facing the camera, with the caption, "Mooney Rooney." A moment that fans will never forget as much as Rooney and his family would never want bringing up again, especially given his senior position as a manager at the time. And that completes our list. There are plenty of dishonorable mentions, so leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.